Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Tuesday, April 6, 2021. Al Jazeera report. Canada faces very serious third wave of pandemic. Trudeau. Canada is facing a very serious third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on Tuesday, as the country's most populous province is struggling to respond to rising infections and hospitalizations, and the rapid spread of coronavirus variants. During a news conference in Ottawa, Trudeau warned that hospitalizations are increasing, intensive care units are filling up, and coronavirus variants are spreading.
Al Jazeera report. UN warns Tanzania not to reject people fleeing Mozambique. United Nations teams have received, worrying, reports that Tanzania has rejected over 1,000 people seeking refuge from an attack on a town in northern Mozambique by ISIL-affiliated fighters. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, has said. The March 24 attack on the town of Palma, adjacent to gas developments worth $60 billion, sent the town's residents scattering in all directions, with some fleeing into dense forest while others escaped by boat.
BBC report. Kim Kardashian West joins billionaire club. Her net worth reached $1 billion, £0.72 billion, thanks to her cosmetics and clothing interests as well as income from TV, endorsement deals and investments, Forbes business magazine says. She is now one of the 2,755 figures on Forbes's World's Billionaires list. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos leads the pack with a net worth of $177 billion. Other Americans added over the past year include Bumble dating app founder Whitney Wolfe Herd, $1.
BBC report. Jordan Prince Hamza. How Saudi Arabia fits into the crisis. On Saturday, Jordan's popular former Crown Prince Hamza was placed under de facto house arrest and accused of undermining national security after attending tribal meetings where King Abdullah, his half-brother, was openly criticized. Prince Hamza then released to the BBC 2 videos, calling his country's government corrupt and incompetent, and saying that people were afraid to speak out for fear of harassment by the security forces.
Fox report. Dutch police arrest suspect in thefts of Van Gogh, Frans Hals paintings. A 58-year-old man has been arrested in the Netherlands for allegedly swiping two paintings by Dutch masters Vincent van Gogh and Frans Hals from museums shuttered by the coronavirus pandemic, officials said. Police spokeswoman Maren Wonder announced on video Tuesday that the man was arrested in Baarn, a municipality about 25 miles southeast of Amsterdam, according to Reuters. No details were released about the unnamed suspect.
CNN report. GM announces electric Chevy Silverado pickup that can go 400 miles on a single charge. General Motors announced Tuesday that it will produce an all-electric Chevrolet Silverado truck. With an estimated driving range of more than 400 miles on a single charge, the truck will join an increasingly crowded field of competitors from established automakers like Ford, which has already said it will make electric version of its F-Series pickup, as well as startups, such as Tesla, TSLA, with the Cybertruck, and Rivian, with the R1T.
CNN report. U.S. looking into reports of Ethiopian military executing unarmed men after CNN investigation. The U.S. State Department said Monday it was looking into reports of extrajudicial executions committed by the Ethiopian Army following a CNN investigation. A CNN report published on Thursday found that Ethiopian soldiers had executed unarmed men in the country's war-torn Tigray region. The investigation, carried out with Amnesty International, verified footage of soldiers killing a group of at least 11 men before disposing of their bodies near the Tigrayan town of Mahaber Digo.
BBC report. George Floyd death. Chauvin, trained to stay away from neck. Minneapolis use of force expert Lieutenant Johnny Mersel said Mr. Chauvin should also have later moved the prone Mr. Floyd to a different position. Mr. Chauvin, 45, was filmed kneeling on Mr. Floyd for over 9 minutes during Mr. Floyd's arrest last May. Mr. Chauvin is on trial for murder and has denied the charges against him. With the trial in its second week, jurors have now heard from more than 20 witnesses, including 2 police training experts on Tuesday.
CNN report. Myanmar's military is waging war on its citizens. Some say it's time to fight back. From a fenced-off compound close to the Myanmar border in northern Thailand, a rebel leader offers a bleak view of Myanmar's future, as the country is cleaved apart by a military coup. The possibility of a deepening civil war in Myanmar is high, Gen. Yod Sirk said from his administrative base in Chiang Mai province. The world has changed. I see people in the cities won't give up. And I see, coup leader, Min Aung Hlaing won't give up. I think there is possibility that civil war might happen.
CNN report. Black women delivered for Biden. Now it's time for Congress to deliver on a $15 minimum wage. Rebecca Dixon is executive director of the National Employment Law Project. The opinions expressed in this commentary are her own. Democrats tried to include a $15 minimum wage in the American Rescue Plan, but were forced to leave it out. They have another opportunity with the Raise the Wage Act, which would raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour over 5 years and help decrease both the racial and gender wealth gaps that black women face.
Fox report. Iran tankers with 3M barrels of crude oil head to Syria, defying U.S. sanctions. Millions of crude oil barrels are on their way to Syria from Iran, violating U.S. sanctions. According to a civilian naval intelligence firm, there are 4 vessels with more than 3 million barrels combined on their way to the Banias oil refinery, near the Mediterranean coast. A satellite photo captured 2 days ago over the southern section of the Red Sea shows 4 vessels: Armin 114, Sam 121, Darren and Ramina.
Deutsche Welle report. Iran charges 10 officers over downing of passenger jet. An Iranian military court has brought charges against 10 officers over the shooting down of a Ukrainian passenger plane in January 2020. A prosecutor said on Tuesday. The Ukraine International Airlines flight was accidentally taken down by Iran's Revolutionary Guards shortly after taking off from Tehran at the beginning of last year, resulting in the death of all 176 on board. Indictments have been issued for 10 officials involved in the crash of the Ukrainian plane. And necessary decisions will be taken in court. Quote.
Deutsche Welle report. Greenland votes, split on rare earth metals mining. Greenlanders cast their ballots in an early parliamentary election on Tuesday. The result could decide whether the Kvanefjeld mine project gets the go-ahead in the semi-autonomous Danish territory. The country's ruling Social Democratic Siumut and main opposition Inuit Ataqatigiit, IA, parties are split on the issue. Siumut arguing in favor and IA against. The project would see a large mining complex built at Kvanefjeld in the south of the island to dig for rare earth metals, such as uranium and neodymium.
Deutsche Welle report. IMF warns stock markets, meaningfully higher than should be. The IMF said Tuesday that massive government stimuli during the coronavirus pandemic could have unintended consequences, such as causing stock prices to surge beyond their value. The aid has had the desired effect of propping up economies but also results in excessive risk-taking in the markets. The International Monetary Fund warned in its Global Financial Stability Report. This overly ambitious approach has pushed stock prices meaningfully higher than what would be expected given their fundamentals, according to the IMF, which recommended that governments avoid a legacy of vulnerabilities in the financial system and tighten oversight tools to tackle pockets of elevated vulnerability.
Fox report. ExWalmart employee slams car through store. A former Walmart employee from North Carolina is facing multiple felony and misdemeanor charges after driving a car into his former workplace, according to police. Lacey Gentry, 32, was arrested Friday after driving his 2015 Volkswagen Passat into the store in Concord, causing substantial damage and endangering others, the Concord Police Department said in a release. Police said they received a 911 call just before 6 a.m.
Fox report. Asian hate crimes in NYC skyrocketed in March. Murders jumped 36%, police say. New York City crime was on the rise in March compared to the same time last year, with murders up 36% and a startling increase in hate crime attacks on Asian Americans, police said. Hate crimes against Asian Americans skyrocketed last month, with 31 hate crimes reported in March 2021, and none logged in the same month in 2020. The New York Police Department, NYPD, said Tuesday. The Big Apple also saw a 36% increase in murders in March 2021. When there were 34 were reported compared to the 25 slayings the year before.
Al Jazeera report. Cyprus demands businesses name their true owners on new registry. A new digital registry obliging Cyprus-based companies to declare their true owners puts the East Mediterranean island nation in line with European Union regulations against terrorism, financing and organized crime. The country's Commerce and Energy Minister said on Tuesday. Natasha Pilides said the new registry, which went online last month, bolsters transparency in what is often a murky web of false fronts behind which money laundering and other illicit activities can take place.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. Recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.